Today, we're diving deep into the history, design, and current market value of the top 6 Washington quarter dollars coins. One of those coins that seems ordinary but could be worth a surprising amount of money today. So let's get started. Top 1. The story of the Washington quarter begins in 1932, created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The coin's designer, John Flanagan, gave us a simple but powerful portrait of Washington on the obverse design that has remained iconic for decades. Now fast forward to 1982, a very unique year for U.S. coinage. That was the year the United States Mint stopped producing mint sets and proof sets for collectors due to budget cuts. This means fewer coins were set aside in pristine condition, and that's exactly why high-grade 1982 quarters, especially from Denver with the D mint mark, are now rare and collectible. Most 1982 quarters went straight into circulation through vending machines, stores, and daily transactions and got worn down. Finding one in extra fine or mint state condition today is getting harder every year. The 1982 D Washington quarter design. On the front, you'll see George Washington's bust, the word Liberty. Above, and the motto, "I in God we trust," to the left. The date 1982 appears below, with the small D mint mark right next to it showing it was struck at the Denver Mint. That on the reverse, you'll find the classic American bald eagle wings spread proudly, holding arrows and olive branches, symbolizing war and peace. What makes these coins stand out to collectors isn't silver or gold content, because by 1982, quarters were made of copper-nickel-clad composition. Instead, their value comes from their condition, rarity, and any minting errors. If your coin has clear lettering, sharp edges, and Washington's hair details visible, that's a strong sign your quarter could grade extra fine or better. Mint marks and error varieties, collector secrets. Now let's talk about what can make your 1982 D quarter worth a small fortune. There are several error varieties known for this coin. Double die errors, where parts of the lettering or date appear doubled, that offset or strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin was struck incorrectly. Clip planchet errors, where the coin is missing a small curved piece from the edge. Weak strikes, or missing mint marks. Rare cases where the D mint mark looks faded or is missing due to striking issues. Collectors go crazy for these. Depending on the error type, your 25-cent coin could be worth anywhere from $50 to $500 or even more. Market value today, what it's worth now. So, what's the actual market value of the 1982 D Washington quarter in today's coin market? Here's the breakdown as of 2025. Circulated condition, 25 cents to $1. Fine to extra fine condition, $2 to $15. Uncirculated / mint state, $25 to $80. High-grade mint state, $100 to $350 plus. Rare errors or proof-like strikes, up to $1,000 or more in auctions. Some of these coins have been sold at major coin shows and online auctions for hundreds of dollars because of their sharp strike and historical importance. The market for U.S. quarters, especially those from the early 1980s, is heating up as more collectors try to complete full Washington quarter sets. Historical significance, why it's special. The 1982 D quarter also holds a special place in U.S. history. This was one of the first. Years after the U.S. fully transitioned away from silver coins to the modern copper-nickel mix, and the Mint was adjusting production standards. The result? A number of interesting die varieties and striking differences that today's coin experts love to study. It's not just about metal, it's about the era. 1982 marked a time of economic challenge, inflation, and change in America. Every coin from that year tells a story about resilience and transition from traditional to modern minting, investment potential, and tips for collectors. If you're new to coin collecting, here's what to keep in mind when it comes to your 1982 D quarter. Always check for sharp details and full rim edges. Avoid cleaning your coin, it reduces collector value. Store it safely in a holder or flip to prevent scratches. Consider grading your coin with PCGS or NGC. If it looks nearly perfect, graded coins often sell for 3 to 5 times more than raw ones. And remember, the coin market is always evolving. That what's worth $20 today might be worth $200 in a few years as collector interest continues to rise. Final thoughts: don't spend this coin. So before you spend your 1982 D. Washington quarter, take a closer look. You could be holding a hidden gem that's worth far more than you think. Check for the D mint mark, inspect the condition, and if you spot anything unusual, congratulations. You might have found a valuable piece of American coin history. Top 2. The Washington Quarter Series began in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin replaced the standing Liberty Quarter and became one of the most recognized designs in U.S. coinage history. The artist John Flanagan designed the obverse featuring a portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, along with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year of issue. The reverse shows a majestic bald eagle symbolizing strength, freedom, and the nation's pride. WY 1983. The U.S. Mint had fully transitioned from silver coins to a copper-nickel-clad composition, meaning these quarters contain no silver, just copper and nickel layers pressed together. Even so, some quarters from this year have become rare collector's treasures, and the reason might surprise you. The minting background why 1983 is unique. In 1983, quarters were struck at 3 main mints. The Philadelphia Mint, marked with a D, Denver Mint, marked with a D, and the San Francisco Mint, which made proof coins within snow. Here's the important part: in 1983, the U.S. Mint did not release any official mint sets or proof sets for collectors. That means most 1983 coins went directly into circulation, finding in 1983. P quarter in extra fine or uncirculated condition today is extremely rare because almost all were used daily and got worn out. That's why collectors are always on the lookout for these coins in top shape. Design and features of the 1983 P quarter. The 1983 P Washington quarter features. Obverse. The familiar bust of George Washington facing left, with Liberty on top, and I in God We Trust to the left. The date, 1983, appears below. Mint mark. The letter P appears just next to Washington's ponytail, showing it was minted in Philadelphia. Reverse. A bold American eagle holding arrows and olive branches, with the words United States of America and E pluribus unum. Coins from this year often have weak strikes or poor surfaces due to heavy production runs, so a well-detailed, sharp strike with clean fields is very desirable. An extra fine condition coin means it still has most of its design details visible. Washington's hairlines, eagle feathers, and edge rims are clear with only light wear. Rarity, errors, and collector appeal. Now, what makes some 1983 P quarters worth big money? It's not just the year, it's the combination of condition, mint errors, and scarcity. Now let's look at some collector highlights. Double die errors, doubled lettering, or dates can bring $100 to $400 or more. Off-center strikes were part of the design is missing due to a misaligned strike can fetch $50 to $250. Clip planchet errors coins missing a small curved section can reach $200 plus. High-grade mint state coins, these are the real jackpot finds, often selling for $500 to $1,500 at auction. Even normal 1983 P quarters that look clean and well struck are getting attention because of how few survived in collectible condition. Market value today, how much is it worth? All right, let's talk real numbers. The current market value of the 1983 P quarter in 2025. Here's a general price breakdown. Circulated worn condition, 25 cents to $1. Fine to extra fine condition, $2 to $10. Uncirculated, $25 to $80. High grade, $150 to $400. Rare errors or exceptional proof-like pieces, $1,000 or more. One record-breaking example, a 1983 P Washington quarter in mint state 67 was auctioned by PCGS certified grading and sold for over $1,400. So yes, if your 1983 quarter has that P mint mark and it's in great shape, don't just spin it, check it carefully. Historical significance. The 1983 P Washington quarter represents a turning point in U.S. coinage, that it's part of the generation of coins that bridged old and modern minting technology. Because no collector sets were made that year, the few that survived in high condition are symbols of luck and patience in the collecting world. These coins remind us of the early 1980s, a time of economic recovery, technological innovation, and change in the United States Mint. Each coin tells a story of its era, a small but powerful piece of American history in your hand. Tips for collectors and investors. If you're collecting or investing in quarters, here are some quick tips. Always handle coins carefully, avoid fingerprints or cleaning. Look for full, sharp edges and visible details. Store in airtight holders or coin flips. Consider grading your best coins with PCGS or NGC. It increases their resale value, and watch for error types. They can multiply your coin's worth instantly. Final thoughts: don't spend this coin. So friends, before you spend that 1983 P. Washington quarter, take one last look. That small coin in your change could be a hidden treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition and rarity. Check your pocket change, your old drawers, and your coin jars you might be sitting on. Something truly valuable. And if you enjoyed learning about this coin, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon for more daily videos on rare coins and collectibles. Top 3. The Washington quarter dollar was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan. The obverse features the classic portrait of Washington facing left, while the reverse design displays a bald eagle with spread wings, symbolizing strength and freedom. The BY 1984. This coin had already become a staple in American currency. The Philadelphia Mint, represented by the P Mint mark, produced millions of these quarters for circulation. However, only a small percentage have survived in extra fine or uncirculated condition today, making them collectible. On the obverse, you'll see the portrait of George Washington, the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and the year 1984 below. On the reverse, the majestic bald eagle stands with arrows and olive branches, a perfect blend of power and peace. The P Mint mark is just beside the eagle's tail feathers, showing it was minted in Philadelphia in 1984. The Philadelphia Mint produced around 676 million quarters, a huge number. However, over time, many of these coins suffered from circulation or environmental damage or loss. Finding a 1984 P. Washington quarter in extra fine condition is becoming harder every year. Coins with strong details, sharp rims, and minimal wear on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers are considered premium collector pieces. Market value today in dollars. Now, let's talk about the market value of this coin. In average circulated condition, the coin is worth around 25 cents its face value. In extra fine condition, collectors are paying $1 to $2. In uncirculated condition, the value jumps to $10 to $50 depending on luster and strike quality. And in proof-like or error varieties, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or clip planchets, values can reach hundreds of dollars in the collector's market. Today, coin auctions have recorded some rare 1984 P quarter selling for up to $700 to $900, especially when graded or higher by PCGS or NGC. Background and collectability. The 1980s were a unique time in U.S. coinage, period when the U.S. Mint transitioned to modern production systems. Coins from these years, especially with perfect minting details, have become nostalgia collectibles. Collectors often seek Philadelphia minted coins because they represent the oldest operational mint in America. A 1984 P. Washington quarter with a sharp strike and clean surface connects history, patriotism, and numismatic beauty in one small piece of metal. Expert tip: if you own a 1984 P. Washington quarter, don't rush to spend it. Examine the details under good lighting. If Washington's hairlines and the eagle's wings are still visible with clear edges, it might be an extra fine or uncirculated coin. Consider getting it professionally graded by CGS or NGC that can multiply its market value significantly. Conclusion. So friends, this was the story of the 1984 Washington quarter dollar with P Mint mark, a classic American coin that holds both historical and collectible value. Top 4. The Washington quarter dollar has a long and proud history. It was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The coin's design, created by John Flanagan, replaced the standing Liberty Quarter and became one of the most recognized coins in U.S. history, WY 1985. The Washington Quarter had already become a symbol of American heritage, and it was being produced in massive numbers at several U.S. mints, including Denver, which used the famous D mint mark. Let's take a closer look at the design features of the 1985 D Washington Quarter. Obverse, front you'll find a left-facing portrait of George Washington with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year 1985. The D mint mark appears near Washington's neck or just above the date, representing the Denver Mint. Reverse back. The reverse shows a bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, symbolizing both strength and peace. Around the edge, you'll see United States of America, a pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. This iconic design remained unchanged until the state quarters were introduced in 1999. Minting information: the Denver Mint, D mint mark, produced approximately 519 million Washington quarters in 1985, a very large number. However, most of these coins were heavily circulated, meaning they lost much of their original shine, details, and edge sharpness. Finding a 1985 D Washington Quarter in extra fine or higher condition is much more difficult today. Coins with clear details on Washington's hair, smooth fields, and a strong strike are considered premium collectibles. Rarity and error. Varieties. While most 1985 D quarters are common, certain error varieties make them extremely valuable. Some of the most sought-after errors include double die obverse, where lettering or Washington's features are doubled, an off-center strike part of the design, missing due to misalignment. Clip planchet, a small portion of the coin's edge is missing. Struck through grease errors, which cause missing details on Washington's face or the eagle's wings. These rare errors can increase the coin's value dramatically, especially in extra fine or uncirculated grades market value in US dollars. Now let's talk about what collectors are actually paying for this coin in today's market circulated condition. Around 25 cents to 35 cents its face value. Extra fine condition between $1 to $3, depending on sharpness and luster. Uncirculated, prices range from $10 to $50, with strong strikes bringing premium prices. High grade or above can reach $200 to $500 or more in auctions, especially if slabbed by PCGS or NGC. Error varieties. Rare mint errors can fetch anywhere from $100 to over $1,000, depending on rarity and demand. In recent years, a few 1985 D Washington quarters graded have sold for over $800, showing that even modern coins can become treasures if preserved properly. The 1980s era of U.S. coins represents a turning point between old and modern minting technology. During this time, the U.S. Mint focused on mass production, but coins that survived with full detail and minimal contact marks became special. Collectors today appreciate coins like the 1985 D Washington Quarter because they blend modern design, historical meaning, and minting precision. The Denver Mint coins are known for strong strikes and brilliant finishes, making them perfect additions to U.S. quarter collections. That if you have a 1985 D Washington Quarter, take a moment to inspect it under a magnifying glass. Look for sharp details in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, smooth surfaces without heavy scratches, and clear, bold lettering that if it meets those standards, it might qualify as extra fine or better, and you could send it for grading to PCGS or NGC. Graded coins have higher credibility and resale value in the numismatic market at SO. Coin lovers, that's the fascinating story of the 1985 D Washington quarter dollar coin that represents American history, craftsmanship, and hidden value. Even though millions were minted, finding one in extra fine or uncirculated condition is becoming a rare treat for collectors. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes even a 25-cent coin can surprise you with a big dollar value. Top 5. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This coin replaced the standing Liberty Quarter and has since become one of the most recognized American coins in the world. The design was created by John Flanagan featuring Washington's portrait on the obverse, cited design so classic, it remained in use for nearly 70 years before the state quarters began in 1999, about the 1986 D-Mint mark in 1986. Washington quarters were minted at two primary mints, Philadelphia and Denver, with proof coin struck in San Francisco. The D-Mint mark on your coin shows it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest mints in U.S. history. You can spot the mint mark right below Washington's neck, near the ribbon of his ponytail. In that year, over 504 million coins were struck in Denver, but finding one in extra fine condition today is becoming increasingly rare because most were heavily circulated over decades. The 1986 Washington quarter has the same traditional design that collectors love. Obverse front, George Washington's portrait facing left. The words, "Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust," and the year 1986, the small D mint mark. Under the neck. Reverse, back, the bold American eagle perched on arrows and surrounded by olive branches. The words, "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and $quarter. The coin is made of copper nickel clad, not silver, weighing 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. While it's not made of precious metal, its collector value can still be surprisingly high. The 6 mints of the Washington Quarter series over the years. The Washington Quarter has been struck at 6 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, San Francisco, S, New Orleans, O, Carson City, CC, West Point, W. But for the 1986 D Quarter, we focus on the Denver Mint, known for its high-quality production and bold strike marks. Collectors often prefer Denver coins for their durability and clarity in detail. Condition and extra fine details. An extra fine condition coin means it's been in circulation but still retains most of its original design details. Here's what to look for. Slight wear on Washington's hair and cheek. Sharp edges and readable text. Eagle feathers still visible on the reverse side. Some remaining mint luster when tilted under light. Such coins stand out from heavily worn quarters and are highly desirable. Among collectors, rare errors to watch for now. Here's where things get exciting. Minting errors. Some 1986 D quarters show rare, striking mistakes that can increase their value dramatically. Keep an eye out for double die errors, doubling on the lettering, or Washington's profile, off-center strikes. The design isn't perfectly aligned. Clip planchets. A small portion of the rim is missing. Die cracks, thin raised lines across the surface. Struck through grease. Missing details from clogged mint machinery. These error varieties can easily take a $1 coin and turn it into one worth $200 to $1,000 or more, depending on rarity. Market value in U.S. dollars, 2025 update. So, what's the real value of a 1986 D Washington Quarter today? Let's look at the market range. Condition estimated value. USD circulated 25 to 35 cents. Fine, $0.4060. Extra fine, $1, $3. About uncirculated, $3, $10. Mint state, $15, $60. Choice mint state, $100, $400, or error coins. $500, $1, 500 plus in recent auctions. High-grade certified 1986. D quarters have sold for nearly $800, proving that quality preservation pays off. The 1980s was a fascinating era for U.S. coinage. The mint had fully transitioned from silver to copper nickel-clad coins after 1965, focusing on durability and efficiency. The 1986 D Washington Quarter represents this modern era, strong, mass-produced, yet carrying the same patriotic heritage since the 1930s. It's also a reminder of how everyday coins, once overlooked, can become collectible pieces decades later. Collectors value these coins for both their historical significance and nostalgic appeal, as they bridge the gap between traditional designs and the modern state quarters that began in 1999. If you own or find a 1986 D quarter, check the mint mark and condition carefully. Avoid cleaning the coin, it lowers its value. Store it properly in a coin holder or plastic capsule. Consider grading from PCGS or NGC if it looks uncirculated. That a small investment in preservation could turn your coin into a high-value collectible in the future. So friends, that's everything you need to know about the 1986 D Washington quarter dollar, its minting background, condition, market value, and collector demand. If you've got one in extra fine condition, you're holding a small piece of American history and maybe a small fortune. Top 6. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin replaced the standing Liberty quarter, and its design by John Flanagan became one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. The portrait of George Washington on the front, or obverse, became an American classic, a symbol of leadership, honor, and patriotism. Why 1987? This design had already been in circulation for over 55 years, proving its lasting popularity. The 1987 P Mint mark. Let's talk about that little letter on the front of the coin, the P Mint mark. The T represents the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most historic mints in the United States, established back in 1792. In 1987, the Philadelphia Mint produced around 595 million Washington quarters, a very high number, but finding one in extra fine or uncirculated condition today is rare because most of them were used in everyday transactions. You can find the P Mint mark just below Washington's neck, near the ribbon of his ponytail. That small letter carries a big story. The 1987 P. Washington quarter keeps the same timeless design that collectors love. Obverse, front the bust of George Washington. Inscriptions, Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date 1987 of the small P Mint mark under Washington's neck. Reverse, back a proud American eagle perched on arrows, surrounded by olive branches symbolizing peace and strength. Inscriptions, United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters, and is made of copper nickel clad over a pure copper core, no silver, but still full of collector potential. Over the decades, Washington quarters have been struck at 6 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, San Francisco, S, West Point, W, New Orleans, O, Carson City, CC. Each mint adds its own mark and history. The 1987 P comes from Philadelphia, known for producing billions of coins annually, but collectors still hunt for sharp strikes, uncirculated pieces, and any error coins that slipped through quality checks. Extra fine condition, explain now. Let's talk about condition, because that's what determines value. A coin in extra fine condition shows only light, where the high points like Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers are slightly smooth, but most details remain sharp. The fields still have some original mint luster, and all lettering is bold and readable. Such coins are prized by collectors because they show both circulation history and strong detail preservation, a perfect middle ground between worn and mint state examples. Rare mint errors to watch for. Even though the 1987 P quarters were mass-produced, errors can make a huge difference in value. Here are some of the most collectible varieties: double die obverse, DDO doubling on the date or lettering. Off-center strikes, design misaligned from the center. Clip planchets, a missing edge section from the coin blank. Die cracks, thin raised lines from worn minting dies, struck through grease. Parts of the design missing or faded. If your 1987 P quarter shows any of these errors, its value can jump from a few dollars to hundreds or even thousands depending on rarity and condition. Market value, 2025 update. So, how much is a 1987 P Washington quarter worth in today's collector market? Let's break it down by grade. Grade condition. Estimated value, USD. Circulated 25 to 35 cents fine, 40 to 60 cents. Extra, $1 to $3 about uncirculated, $3 to $8. Mint state, $10 to $40 gem uncirculated, $100, $350 or error varieties, $500, $1,200 plus. In 2024 to 2025 auctions, Peasages graded 1987. P quarters have fetch prices as high as $700 to $1,000. So, while most are worth face value, The right condition and error combination can make your coin a real jackpot. The 1980s were a transitional period for U.S. coinage. The mint had perfected its clad coin production and was pushing for precision and durability. There were no mint sets released in 1987 for circulation, which actually makes some coins from that year a bit scarcer in pristine condition. Collectors see the 1987 P. Washington quarter as part of the last generation before the state quarters program, which began in 1999 and changed U.S. coin collecting forever. If you're lucky enough to have a 1987 P. quarter, here's how to protect and maximize its value. Never clean or polish your coin. It could destroy its value. Store it in a 2x2 holder or a capsule to prevent scratches. If your coin has sharp details and bright luster, consider professional grading from PCGS or NGC. Always keep an eye out for error varieties. They can be life-changing for collectors. Even a coin worth a few dollars today might become much more valuable over time. So before you spend that old quarter, take a closer look. It might just be a rare treasure in disguise. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins hide the biggest stories.